Shalom. Want to start by giving all praise to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, Waharuka and double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching the scriptures, among other things. A salutation to Yahakim across the earth for doing his work in sincerity and truth. Shalom. So basically this video I want to go into that with the Most High, with Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, nothing is going to be impossible, And this is a mindset, you can see it through history. Also going to go into a scripture story thing that happened in the past. And, the scripture in the book of Sirach also teaches us, it also says us, prepare your soul when you come to serve Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, you need to prepare your soul for temptation. You will go to stuff, but you got to keep in mind, that the Most High will get you through. And this also reminds me of another scripture. Let me see, the book of 1 Corinthians, I think. Let me see. Yeah. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 13. This is one of my favorite scriptures. Why? Because it always reminds me that the Most High will never put me, put you to something that you cannot handle, that you cannot bury, and that's something that you got to keep in mind. Because of course you go to stuff and your flesh is weak, mental, you think like, hey man, I'm never gonna survive this, you really feel fucked up. But you got to keep in mind, the Most High, Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi will never put you to something that you can't handle. We are not going to stuff to be destroyed, but to become better. Like the book of Sirach said, acceptable man going to the furnace of adversity. So we go to stuff to become the man that we need to be. You got to keep in mind, if you look at Israel, Iran, that region there, over there, we know prophecy, to prophecy, we know that they are in the valley of Yahawashi, the valley of the Most High's judgments, that the Most High is gathering them over there. World War III is a fact. It will happen, the Bible is very clear about it, and none of these shall fail, like the scripture said. I believe that's the book of Isaiah. So all these things must come to pass, and you got to keep in mind, like it says in the book of Jeremiah, if I'm correct, for the day is great, alas, the day is horrible, like never seen before, Jacob's trouble. So things is gonna be horrible. So if things are about to be horrible, what are you supposed to be? You're supposed to be strong as a man and steadfast, into the scriptures, Isaiah, what is it? Isaiah 33 and 6, wisdom and knowledge. Matter of fact, let me jump to that real quick. I'm so sorry for being all over the place, but I think it's 33. Let me see. Yeah. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahawah is his treasure. Yeah. And for example, if you fear Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, you try your best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, that continues the dietary law, how to deal with women, how to deal with your household, the Most High has an answer for everything. So these things prolong your life, for example, the dietary law, you read to investigate. Nowadays you have to be a scientist to eat Esau's food, because they keep changing names, they keep adding stuff, so things like that, but yeah. And like I said, let me just read this scripture. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 13. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to men. But Yahawah is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able. So the Most High is faithful, so he will never put you to something that you can't handle, and that's something that you got to keep in mind. There had no temptation taken you but such as is common to men, but Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able. And that's something that you gotta keep in mind nowadays, but also the days that are about to come. And like I said, the time that is around the corner is gonna be horrible, man. It's gonna be horrible. Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. And that's something that you gotta keep in mind. The Most High will, how you say that? He will make sure that that the things that you go through, if you are sincere and Yahweh is part of that number, the Most High will let you go to stuff that you can handle. You might think, sometimes you wake up or at night you can't sleep. You'll be like, damn, how am I gonna get through this situation? But then something happens and the Most High changes the complete situation. Things like that can happen. So let me see. I was thinking about the scripture. Oh yeah, now I remember. Now I remember. So this is the book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So things that happened during the C-19 is just that was just a test, and this is a small thing. But they already showed you people were going nuts, locked down in the houses, forced into taking the devil juice, family members separating each other, things like that. And that's also, yesterday in the study we also went into that. That's also a part of the curses being uplifted from us to them, because in slavery, matter of fact, if we go to the book of Deuteronomy, during slavery, how you say that, it happened to us. The family was taken apart, sold to different plantations, things like that. Yeah, let me highlight this. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, of Slaki, chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. So these things used to happen to us. And now you had this toeslag affair, when they were put people in big debts, and then took away their children, things like that. Children were placed in foster to foster parents and stuff like that, and that's part of the curses being uplifted. Let me see. Is it I think it's chapter 30, if I'm correct. Yeah. So this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 7. And Yahawah thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. So you see that, also, we are like bywords, Now you see them, Karen, touching to, sticking to them, things like that, So yeah, man, it's beautiful to see, man. It's beautiful to see how this devil is going down, man. And I was thinking about scripture, but lost my mind. But yeah, like I said, the Most High will never put you to something that you can't handle. And you got to keep in mind that with the Most High, nothing is going to be impossible, And that's a very important to put in your mind, because we are about to go. The things that we're going through these days is nothing in comparison the things that we are about to go through, you know. So let me see. So this is the book of Matthew. This is the book of Matthew. Let me remove the highlights. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 26. So you can read the chapter for yourself. You know, this is about a rich man. He came to Yahawashi and he asked what he had to do to enter into the kingdom of Yahawah, bahasham, and Yahawashi told him, like, okay, then you have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, you know, honor your father and your mother, you know. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing all these things. Then Yahawashi told him, like, because don't forget, Yahawashi could read the spirit, you know. He already knew who he was, everything, you know. So Yahawashi told him, like, okay, then how you say that? Sell everything that you got and follow me. And then the man, he was really sad, you know, disappointed, and basically he walked away with his head down, you know. His countenance fell down, you know. He walked with his head down. And so the disciples were like, man, he was keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you know. And if he cannot make it to the kingdom of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, you know, who can? They were like amazed. And then Yahawashi told him, like, you look, man, with men, you know, I'm just going to read it. But Yahawashi beheld them and said unto them, and you can see the red letters right there. This is what Yahawashi said, you know. With men, this is impossible, but with Yahawah, all things are possible. And that's something that we got to keep in mind about the times that are about to come, you know, things that we are about to go through. You know, we got to keep in mind that with the Most High, nothing is going to be impossible, you know. So let me see. The book of Daniel. And this is a very beautiful story, you know. And I was thinking, I was meditating about it, you know. I was like, yeah, man, that's a very beautiful story about faith and how with Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, you know, nothing is going to be impossible, you know. Nothing is going to be impossible. Look at, for example, Daniel. He was thrown at the lion's den, right? The lions didn't mess with him. You know, back then, those lions were hungry, man. They were hungry, fucking aggressive. As soon as somebody was thrown down, they would tear him apart, you know. So yeah, this is just one example. So this is the book of Daniel, chapter 3. And let me start with verse 1 first, you know, about Nebuchadnezzar. And he made an image, you know. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 3 and 1. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and breadth therefore 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Let me read verse 2. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. So he made an image, and everybody, he want everybody to worship it. Then the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then Herod cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, O nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. So he commanded that everybody should worship that image that he made. And whoso falleth not down and worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fire furnace. And therefore at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. So they were forced to do that, you know. Then I'm gonna jump to verse, let me see. Uh, Let me see. Yeah, verse 8. Oh, yeah, I can just continue, man. I'm like, let me jump down, but let me just continue. So, verse 8. Wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worship, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy powers, their gods, they serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fury commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made, well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? So he was mocking the Most High also, you know. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fire furnace. And that shows you the faith that we need to have in all the time. Not only in the time of trouble that's about to come, you know, when the whole world's going to be tried, you know. No. Always have to put your faith 100% in Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, man. So, if it be so, our God who we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, so he was angry, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. So he was like, okay, heat it more, make it as hot as possible. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and cast them into the burning furnace. So he told them, like, okay, you know, bind them up and throw them into that burning oven, you know. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. So they burned all their clothes. Therefore, because the king commanded was urgent, and the furnace exceedingly hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So those men that had to throw these Hebrew men into the oven, the fire devoured them, And the three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fire furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake, and said unto his council, Did we not cast three men bound into the midst of the fire? Then answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see four men loose, walking in the midst of the fire. And to the spirit, we know that was Yahawashi, He answered and said, Lo, I see four men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the son of Yahawah. So, yeah, and we know it's Yahawashi. So he, through the spirit, also knew, Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fire furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. And the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was no hair of the head signed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. So the fire did them nothing. Hey, now this thing start tripping up. Let me try it again. Open it again. Sometimes it trips, Let me see. Verse 28. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be Yahawah, blessed be the power of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who had sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yield their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any power except any god except their own God. Therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the power of the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. So the Most High showed his power, Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. So they got promoted even afterwards, And this is a beautiful story, And these stories like this, shows you, reminds you that with Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, nothing's going to be impossible, And like I said, this is something that we really got to keep in mind, man. This is something that we really need, We really need to know that with Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, nothing is going to be impossible, man. That's a fact. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that, man. And yeah, and like I read in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 13, the things that we are going through, is common to men. If you come to serve Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, you will go to stuff, because we have to go to that furnace of adversity to become the man that we're supposed to be, Nevertheless, you got to keep in mind that the Most High will never put you to something that you can't handle, that you can't bear, And He will always find a way for you to get through this, So yeah, man. Therefore, things that I'll be going through, I got to say, call Allah, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, because He keeps on making the impossible possible, man. He keeps on making the impossible possible, and those are facts, man. Those are facts of things that me personally are going through, man. Nevertheless, about other brothers, So yeah, man. With that, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all your Akim across the earth for doing this work in sincerity and truth. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.